this again. Hey y'all, hey, this is Arnya, and that is
Fancy.
we're not delayed anymore. I'm coming to you guys from New Orleans. You know I live in Texas. So a little technical difficulties, but that's okay. We're back. Welcome to the ninth episode of Theories and Thoughts, the monthly wind down. So let's get into these topics that we have this afternoon. It's okay. It's morning somewhere. So what's going on? Van Lathan is the newest on air on air personality on Will Packer's show, Central Ave. I think this is a win. A lot of people first found out, learned a lot about. Well, I learned a lot about Will Packer when on TMC. He was the one who called out Kanye that one time, and
Wait,
everybody just hmm,
Van. Van
Van
called out
Lathan.
Kanye. Okay, because you said
Yeah, what I said.
Will, just so people aren't confused. Then all of a sudden Will be trying to
Oh,
sue us.
sorry,
Yeah.
sorry, sorry. Y'all see how she checked me real quick? I'm kidding. Van called out Will on TMZ Live one time, so that's when a lot of people learned about him. I know that's when I learned about him. So that's he has. If you didn't know, there was some controversy that went on, and it was political between him and one of his white counterparts on TMZ, and he lost his job. So now he's on Will Packer's show, Central Ave. I say congratulations, Van Lathan, on that move. That's an up move. I remember, y'all know Charlamagne. Yeah, I already know I love me Charlamagne. Charlamagne. Charlamagne and Van are friends, and Van was like, "Don't be upset," and all these different things. So, it kind of made it feel like he was okay with his firing, or he was just trying to be political. Kind of have that professional tone with it. I guess I don't know.
Yeah.
Fans,
I don't know. I mean, like, I think it is cool. Because I did see, like, when people first started reporting about him being fired, and then also, and I'm not just trying to be like, oh, I know this person, but his sister is like my online friend, so I kind of like had started following his work through her and her making posts, and she was really proud of him when he was at TMZ. But I knew from the post he was always kind of, he spoke his mind, so I thought that was great for one, because I prefer people that's going to actually have some type of standpoint with things as opposed to that person that never really has a stance on anything. But as far as when I was looking for more info about the show, one thing that I noticed is that it's like it's going through a trial run right now, right? Like it's only 5 episodes of it.
mm-hmm.
So I
I
was
think
just kind
so.
of wondering how, but it seems like a lot of people have been excited about him being hired onto the show. So it seems like it should have a good outcome. But that was kind of the only thing. I was like, well, is it, really a full-time thing, or is it just going to be something that's temporary? But I wish him all the luck, because I know a lot of people be saying it, and then, it's like, oh, well, she just already waiting on him to fail. I have nothing against Van, don't know him like this. So I just, I mean, and also the fact that this is also going to be on BET Plus, right? Isn't it?
No, this is on. I'm just all discombobulated tonight. I think it's on Fox.
Oh,
So from from Black Enterprise, it says Van Lathan joins Will Packer's Central Avenue show. After being abruptly fired from TMZ last month, Van Lathan announced that he is joining Will Packer's new show, Central Avenue. This makes Lathan the newest on-air personality on the show, which airs on Fox television stations in 8 markets, including New York, Los Angeles, Washington, D.C., Atlanta, Houston, um, Phoenix, Detroit, and yeah.
I'm wondering what the M word was. Oh, like, was it Minnesota?
Listen, y'all, I would just be transparent with y'all. Sometimes I go to say a word and I stop. It's like maybe minimal. Okay. I'm all my stuff. Minnae. I mean Eapolis.
Minneapolis.
Yeah, that one.
Minneapolis. Okay, girl.
Which I'm dyslexic, so sometimes I feel like, okay, yeah, that one too.
But I understand because I know like for me, if it's something that I know I'm gonna struggle with pronouncing, then you'll hear me say, "Oh, how y'all pronounce this?" or something like that. Because just to be on the safe side before I be screwing something up. Because I know for the longest I kept saying, "What is it?" Macdonald. It's in Georgia. We have a client there, and you see, I still don't have it right. I did a live, and somebody was like, "What it is you're trying to say?" And they put it like, oh, I don't know, some kind of way. However, maybe I was saying it one way, and then however they spelled it out, it let me know I was saying it incorrectly. But yeah. But if you don't really say something, if it's not a word that's frequent in your vocabulary, it can get to be that way. So,
hey, one day we're gonna do a show on disabilities and owning your mess, okay? Because I owns mine. When I go and talk to kids, I'll be like, look, I'm dyslexic, and there's some words that give me a hard time, honey. It happens. Okay. So it says, Lathan worked for TMZ since the inception of the program and gained notoriety when he pushed back
probably
against
called out Kanye.
Huh?
Oh, I was about to say probably called out Kanye, huh?
Yeah. Kanye, while on air in May 2018, when Kanye stated that slavery was a choice during a live taping of the TMZ live show. The former TMZ personality had recently been let go after getting into a heated, high-spirited confrontation with Michael Babcock. Reports the Daily Beast after having a disagreement over politics. That's what I just said. It's been reported that Lathan confronted Babcock in the newsroom after the segment and supposedly threatened Babcock if he ever embarrassed Lathan like that again. So that's what happened. With Van, I'm glad that I don't know what happened in the newsroom or whatever, what led for him to lose his job, but it's always good for a black man to have a job. Thank you.
Yeah.
Anyway. Okay, moving on. Because you don't look interested in that one. I'm kidding.
All right. I'm just, I don't know. Like, I think the difficulties, the issues we were having earlier, it just, how stuff will throw me. So,
yeah.
Plus, I'm tired.
We work through it. That's what I love about us. Like, we so upfront about stuff that's going on that we were like, look, and people realize that you can still be successful and have a little hang-ups and have your own little quirks and different things. Because, hey, it happens. So, now, and some stuff that happened earlier kind of threw me, and it's just been kind of gross. So, but we're going to still do this show. Okay. R. Kelly's girlfriend, Joycelyn Savage, tells her story on a paid site. It has been removed now because they could not verify identity. Y'all know my other girl, Wendy, was talking about this today, and they actually paid the $25. It was like it was like you pay a certain amount, and she gave you a certain amount of tea.
Oh, okay. Because I saw that like the price was between $3 to $25, and I was like, what was the difference? So you got to hear about as much as you paid. Basically, is what you're saying.
Right, and 25 was the most. And they talked about how she had abortions in the house, how he would urinate on them, how she got in trouble for not sticking to the script.
When she called him baby or something. You're saying when she called him baby or something, they were saying? Is that what you're referring to? As opposed to daddy?
She's supposed to call him daddy. So yeah, that probably was it. And how, in the interview that they had, how she was you could kind of see a shadow in the background. And a lot of people had talked about that on the interview that they did, and that she did, and how he was probably standing there watching and different things like that. So she, she was a bad girl. She didn't listen. She was a little baby that didn't listen. So she finally sold her story. I wouldn't have sold it to that site, but I guess she wanted some money because he in jail, right?
Well, but what's wrong with the site? I don't really like I did look into the story, but I'm not really familiar with the site. So I don't understand like how it normally works. Is it normally that same way? Like whereas they pay for whatever, how much they listen to or something?
I'm not familiar with the site either, so I can't tell you that much.
Oh, I just asked because I saw like other partnerships with them, not necessarily along the lines of hers. So when you said that about like you wouldn't have done it with them, I was just kind of like, well, what exactly is their deal with how? Because to me it seemed okay at first, but what I've been looking at is like a lot of people were like they were not interested in her story anymore, or they're not going to pay to hear her story. And it's one meme I saw said, like when we wanted to save y'all weren't interested in, so why should we be interested now, basically? But I don't know. Like I have kind of mixed emotions about it. I wasn't about to pay to listen to it, but I would say like I support people sharing their stories, and usually, especially in this day and age, what are all the posts we're seeing? Turn your pain into profit, this and that, so everybody's trying to make money out their story. So what's any different about her? And if he is in jail, then okay, then she does need the funds. So that would make sense. But I guess the main thing is like with any story, especially with the best stories, and even when Dunn Hardy was talking about memoir writing last week, she was like, you got to have a win. So is she coming out of this winning, or is it like, has anybody heard the whole thing?
Wendy did.
Oh,
so you can catch it on.
Because see, the post that I had saw, they had said somebody else found something, and they just kind of share like little tidbits and stuff. So I don't think they paid the full 25 or whatever. I don't think they actually paid anything. Some kind of way they found a way to listen or something.
Well, I think, to be honest with you, they have too many news sites, and they could. Of course, we knew they were going to be, talking about it. So why pay it when the news site can pay the $25 and tell us what it's talking about?
You know what? I didn't even think about that. And I'm not gonna lie, you know what? No, too. I don't know if like, even though, because sometimes we'll like give a recap of something, or but it's not something, even with today. Well, today Tahir kind of did get some spoilers with Queen and Slim, but that was a good write-up, but oftentimes for me personally, if I'm gonna do a write-up on something and it's ahead of time, I'm not gonna really, or before everyone else has seen it, I'm not gonna go too into detail. I might just pull out a few things. But now that you say that, I'm like, that does make sense. It makes a lot of sense, actually, because I mean, like I said, I found out what all was there from an Instagram post, and then I just kind of looked a little bit.
It's, to me, it's kind of different from a review. A reviewer kind of wet your palate a little bit and make you want to, a review will kind of wet your palate a little bit. Hey, Nicole. A review will kind of wet your palate and make you want to kind of find out what else is there. But this is tea. Like, this is going to be the same thing, and this is play by play of what's going on. So I wouldn't have. I don't even care. I mean, I get it. People sharing their story or whatever, but what you shaking your head because they put your name up?
I just thought about, like, I hadn't even showed our name crawlers, and so, but for some reason you always show up with my name. Yeah, so I'm just like, okay, tonight, you know what, this is the end of the month now. And that's kind of like what I want to talk about. I want to talk about like how podcasting, like I know we had some other things on the agenda, but I want to kind of just talk about like, what are your thoughts on us podcasting? How has it changed your life and so on? Because we're about to be 2 months into this. So, and it has been life changing.
Yeah. Do you want to do the sponsor first, and then you want to just have an open floor discussion about it?
It doesn't matter. We can do the sponsor.
Okay, I'll do the sponsor. Nola Baby Body Butter. This is Sharona. Y'all may see her always in the comments. What?
No, go ahead on. Go ahead on.
Uh, y'all may see her always in the comments, always supporting. Anywho, hashtag Bayou Classic. She has some specials. She has some packets, some sets going on this week. So she have hashtag Bayou Classic. If y'all know Nola Baby Body Butter, she is from New Orleans. So of course everything is themed around New Orleans. So it's hashtag Bayou Classic, 4-ounce body butter with 8-ounce second line sugar scrub, and as a matching set, $30. She has the hashtag Baby Bayou Classic, 2 ounces each. Body butter, body scrub, lip scrub as a as a matching set is $12. Add a CPC lip balm for $1 more. Nola Baby, you can find all of this at nolababybodybutter.com. And this starts after dinner on Thursday. Sharona also has a podcast called Buku Talk with Sharona on Spotify. We may have to get her on and talk about some hair because I want to tell people all the time, just because you're natural don't mean it's gonna be easy. I feel like when I went natural, it was worse.
I agree.
So,
I struggle with my hair tonight too, even with these dresses. And it's the first time, but I did, I have some issues. So
y'all check that out as well. And if you ever have any hair questions, you can contact her on IG at Sharona Style. So thank you, Sharona, for always being there, always supporting and sponsoring. Yeah, I actually use her products. I'm gonna have to send you something fancy so you can see it. I actually use it. Like I use my body butter on my hand because it's a little small thing. And I always use my lip scrub. I use my lip scrub and my lip balm, my CTC lip balm. Cure the chaps. She's gonna kill me. I use that on my lips all the time, especially because it's been cold. So that's that. Now, podcasting. What you was gonna say?
Well, I actually still thought we were going to go into our agenda, then come back to podcasting. But since we didn't get to do this last month, and just because I feel like we have guests on and we kind of just like spotlight everybody else, and we have stuff going on too. So I think this has been like a huge feat for us to be able to do this consistently. I know for me, like my Tuesdays have just dramatically changed over the past few months. So I just kind of wanted to know, like, what are your thoughts on the matter, and just kind of, share mine, I guess. I've already shared that it's changed, but it's just, I will say initially with podcasting, I just kind of thought, like, when people be like, oh, I'm going to do a podcast, and then it's like, oh, I got to get this together, or I'm going to be waiting. And I'm like, what are you waiting on? Like, all you have to do is talk and record it and, maybe check the audio. And I realized it's a lot more than that. So.
Well, podcasting for me, first of all, let's talk about how this happened. We always talked about doing a podcast because, as y'all know, theories and thoughts came about because Fancy and I came from two different major backgrounds, but we have different thoughts on different things. And sometimes we will talk, and I call it kitchen table talk. If you're a Wendy fan, you already know that's what she says. And I get it. It's like those conversations that you have. Don't be shaking your head when I say Wendy.
I didn't intentionally do that. If I did, actually, I'm in a little chair. It moves or whatever.
Oh, and so it would be conversations that Fancy and I would just have, and we were like, more women should talk about this. And it's, as you guys know, we talked about mental illness, we talked about domestic violence, we talked about, breast cancer awareness. This month we talked about elder care, we talked about American Son, we talked about human trafficking. We created this podcast to talk about things in our community, to bring things to the forefront. So how my life has changed, I have to put on makeup every Tuesday. I don't wear makeup, y'all. And I'm here in New Orleans. As I told y'all, I'm originally from New Orleans, but I live in Texas. I've been in Texas 20 years. So I had to, do my makeup, hurry up and do my makeup. I was on the phone with my honey, you know. And I was doing my makeup,
Okay.
talking to you while I was
No,
doing
that's
my
why you got
makeup.
me off the phone then. I just thought about it. I was
So I
like,
put
I
you on.
don't have my makeup on yet. I'm like, okay, you don't never have no your makeup on any other time. What's the difference? But I was like, oh, okay, let me just do this then. Okay.
I know. I usually talk to you while I put my makeup on. I was on the phone with him.
I get that.
While-
Like, so you
and I
just brushed me out to the side. I was like, well, let me go through my notes then. All right. It's fine.
I would never throw you to the side.
Oh, thank you.
But yeah. So that's that. It makes me be consistent. I mean, I'm consistent with a lot of things, but you know, before we started, just transparent. Right before we started, we had like a big blow up or whatever, misunderstanding, miscommunication. And you were like, look, if we're going to do this podcast, we got to be serious about it. Right?
Also, I was like, we got to be, I mean, just to not go all in detail, but I was like, you know, we have to be able, because the blow up was kind of bad, y'all. So it was like, you know, we got to be on the same page again, like that caring relationship that we had prior to everything. We needed to get back there in order for this to be what, you know, we originally talked about it being, or so I felt anyway. But that's, I mean, I feel like we've actually grown beyond that, and I think that's kind of like the cool part about the podcast, because, you know, even though we work together and we're constantly texting, we still don't really talk as much. So this is another way for us to communicate, and then also to be able to, you know, widen our audience and just share those thoughts. But also, when you mentioned another time before, you was like, you know, having friends to grow with you. And so this has been an experience, because I don't know if you all, I mean, I'm pretty certain anybody that really follows the podcast, then they see you're a lot more relaxed on camera. And me, I'm over here chair spinning. Sometimes I'm wringing my hands, but you know, and then there are other days when I just be like, you know what, this is not about to stress me. I'm about to go through it. But throughout both of those times, you know, I appreciate you just being there, because I knew, like I said, I've even shared this in a post. Like, I've always wanted to do a podcast. Like, I wanted to do a podcast for years, and I just kept putting it off. But I also knew that I could ramble. So I didn't want to just be on a podcast with just me rambling and people being like, like, you know, they would be excited at first, then it'd be like, damn, Fancy might just talk too much. And so I didn't know. So it's good to have, you know, someone else that you can bounce things off of, and just, you know, even with the whole process, because it is a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes. It's probably not as much work as the magazine, but when I have the magazine on top of this, you know, it's a lot to get done. So
Right. And that's another thing. Fancy does majority of the work for a magazine. She does. I manage and I do my part, and Jamel does his part, but for the most part, Fancy holds the magazine. She is, this is her brand. And I mean, I don't want to say it like that. That's not what I wanted to say. I'm happy to be a part of Swag Her, so it's it's just, she does her side stuff along with the magazine, and I just picked up a part-time job, a full-time job, and I have my business, but like, she does great and she motivates me. So, we always compliment each other. We're always giving each other accolades. And that's what I love about the podcast too, because we get to engage with other people, with so many people. We get to bring out different sponsors. If you want to be a sponsor of the podcast, hit me up, admin@swagher.net. We get to talk to different people. We get to talk about topics that we care about. Like we talked about the elder care, things that we want to find out information on that may not be mainstream that everybody else is talking about. So it is a lot of work. It's a lot of work. Fancy puts in so much. I feel like, girl, I'm about to go to this ball. She be like, I'm about to work. You know,
And
I
look, I did look, just quick insert because I did actually do something for myself last week. I kind of shared it on my page. But y'all, I went to Trap Karaoke. So I just want to shout them out because I would love to for us to be able to work with them in some capacity because that was like my first time going anywhere in years for fun. And I had the best time ever. Like to me, I know like I've been seeing everybody talking about Kanye Soul Food Sunday or whatever. To me that was that, you know, the spirit and the vibe, and even at one point there was someone up there conducting melodies from heaven, so it was just that good, y'all. Like I mean it was so great. I lost my voice, I just got my voice back yesterday, so that's just how good it was to me. So I just want to let y'all know if they come to your city, get your tickets.
and she don't never do nothing, y'all. I be the one talking about, girl, somebody called me, I got a ticket to go do this. So she does a lot. So even doing this, being consistent with staying on top of it, bringing news things that we think is interesting, that you may think is interesting. Again, bringing on people who we think is interesting to talk to you guys. If you ever want to be on the show, contact me at admin@swagger.net. Um, I think American Son. Did you see? Oh, you seen it first, and you was gonna rewatch it, and I was
Mhm.
like, why don't we talk about that? And that's how we come up with topics sometimes. Why don't we talk about that? That'll be an interesting topic. To be honest with you, transparent. The human trafficking. We actually had another guest that was supposed to be that week. However,
Oh, yeah.
um, huh?
I was saying, oh yeah, and then it was funny because I had just been talking to Salika saying that I need to do something else with her, so it just all
And you
worked out.
had told me that.
Are we delayed again?
No,
Oh,
I just talked over you by mistake. I had she had told me she wanted to do something more with Salika, and just so happened our guest canceled, and she had been still talking to Salika. I'm sorry, Facey, for talking over you.
you're fine.
Oh, so that's how we brought on the human trafficking, and what's so crazy is so much has been going on. So that was a very prevalent story to talk about. And then when we talked about elder care, I think I did share with you guys that my father has Parkinson's, and although I'm not his primary caregiver, my stepmom is, and she does an excellent job with taking care of him. I needed resources to help her and to help me because I am his power of attorney. And Fancy's working with her grandmother, and she takes her grandmother. Fancy, and on top of this magazine, I'm gonna tell them a little bit of your business. Fancy drives to Macomb to take her grandmother to doctor's appointments. And that's very noble of her because she don't have to, but she does it because, and she wanted to find out more information so she can help her grandmother. So that's why we brought that one on. So that's how we come up with some topics, just to kind of give y'all an idea. I may screenshot something and be like, what you think about this news article? So that's what I did about Van Lathan, Jamil Hill, another person that I love in journalism. She actually retweeted Van saying that he got a new job, and I sent it to Fancy like, "Girl, look." And the situation with Joycelyn Savage, that was another one that I just kind of screenshot. So that's how we do for podcasts. I don't know how other people do, but it kind of changed my life because I'm always on top of the news. What's popping, what's going on. What are people going to be interested in? We don't ever want to bring anything that's too talked about. Also, we want to talk about stuff that may not be talked about so much. So that's kind of why we haven't. I want to say that's why we haven't talked about the Ti thing, because it was kind of old, and now, he was on the Red Table Talk, and we're just kind of like, I don't even think we even mentioned it to one another.
No, we hadn't.
It's more like girl.
Well, I mean, I guess I'm not gonna say I didn't have any opinion about it, but I also it was just weird. But I'm like, you know what, like some things, I just think we just really can't. We can have our opinion, but it's not gonna make much of a difference, you know. So, and it's too personal, I don't think it should have been shared, and we're not even supposed to be trying to talk about it now. But I'm just saying.
Right.
So yeah, those
So that
are.
was so. And when we say join in the conversation in the comments. Tell us what y'all think, and tell us how you feel about whatever topic that we talk about or what have you. I think it puts me on. It puts you on. You're on. You know, podcasting puts you on. We want this one to be informal but formal, if that makes sense. Fancy is very organized. I am chaos. So is we work together like that. Fancy is very organized, y'all. Fancy be like, Anya, we're about to start. Anya, I'm like, okay, Fancy. And then she'll be like, do I do the sponsor this time? Do you do the sponsor? I'm like,
But that's the only way. Like, I just honestly, if I didn't try to be, I would just be lost a lot of the time. So, and like I said about the sponsor thing, it's just I be having so much going on. Because I honestly, even before I asked you tonight, I was really trying to remember, and I was like actually going going over the paper, like, okay, did she go? Then, and I was just like, you know what? But I don't know, to me, organization and just kind of where I'm at in life is really important, because again, it goes back to just how things have changed since we started the podcast. Like, because initially, like 3 months ago, that would have been like about August, school was starting. I had just went through that really bad bout of depression. I was just on the sofa most of the time, and then I started going to counseling. My son moved back home. I started going to therapy, and my son moved back home with a job and him going to school and college. So it was just like, it's like my life went from 0 to 100 or something, just without all the funds, I guess you say. But it's very different for me, because I'm normally a homebody, so to have to be out as much as I've been out, and just even when you said that about the makeup, that actually, when I first thought about this, was going to be my first response, because I don't really do the whole makeup thing. Now I have to be like on Saturdays to be like, okay, you got something to wear Tuesday night. I think I got on my our stories, our struggles, our successes shirt tonight, because I'm just like, you know what, I'm tired. But at the same time, we're in a good spot. And the other thing I actually meant to ask you about was like some things that you're grateful for, because we are doing this before then. And I know we have our topic, so
yeah. No, that's good.
Because I wanted you to be able to share, I know this topic was something that you wanted to discuss. And I also possibly something that you want to get out before you have to go visit people.
Before I gotta go first, I wanted to show my shirt. It says, "The future is female." Hey, I just put it on today. I had to go see my dad in the hospital and stuff, and I just threw on something, and this is one of my favorite shirts. Now my chair don't want to act right. My stepmom is so sweet. She was like, all right, well, you stay down here and I'm gonna go upstairs. And she put the dog in the cage, so y'all probably hear the dog like keep doing that. And then my uncle went walking. They was like, we're gonna give you the downstairs. Anyway, something I wanted to talk about, and what Fancy was alluding to was topics to stay away from for the holidays. I know we're at 7:46, so I'm gonna make this quick. Just something, y'all. I'm 38, and you guys, I've shared with you guys that I have PCOS, and I was actually going through the process of freezing my eggs, and then some things was happening, and I'm of course dealing with taking care of business for my father, so I didn't have a chance to officially start freezing my eggs yet. I share that with you guys just in case there's other women who are going through that. So please, please, please stay out of the people's uterus. That's the best way I can say. Stay off of me, because nothing to my cousin. One of my cousins asked me actually one time, not too long ago. She was like, right before I was about to start the whole process of freezing my egg, she was like, when you gonna have a baby? When you gonna do this? And she didn't know, because that's the normal thing when a woman is of my age, when she's gonna have a baby. First of all, I never wanted to be a single mother, and that's not throwing shade to nobody that's a single mother. What?
Y'all know my son come in loud every Tuesday. It seems like my kids just come say hello to y'all. But anyway, so he's about to do his little walkthrough. You were saying, I'm so sorry. It just throws me. That's what it throws me.
No, I was just saying, because because some people, whenever I tell people I didn't want to be a single mother, they be like, so what that mean? I just didn't want to be a single mother. So I took every precaution not to be a single mother. I was on birth control. I never had an abortion. I never been pregnant. So, I wanted to be married when I had a kid. I wanted the whole family thing. I know. I've heard marriage don't keep a man, baby don't keep. I get all that, but that's what I wanted for my life. So, but people tend to always ask why you don't have a child, why you don't have this, and sometimes for some people it's hurtful, and for me sometimes it can be a little emotional because I know although I've never tried to have kids, I am 38. And I do have PCOS, which makes it a little bit harder, and it's scary because I think that's another reason why I just stopped with the whole egg freezing thing, because I never wanted to do it by myself. And so if you're coming in putting someone on blast that's going through something like that, that can be a trauma. So I just wanted to say, whenever although a woman, some women just can't conceive. They just can't. So try not to ask that question when you gonna have a baby or when you gonna get married. Maybe they are working on them and trying to figure out when they're gonna get married, and maybe they're down on themselves or whatever. And here you come. When you gonna get married? When you gonna do this? When you gonna do that? And that could be a sensitive subject. So please try to stay away from those sensitive subjects. I know you had a list of some things that
Oh,
that you.
yeah. So because for me, like I don't really have any topics necessarily, I guess to say. Well, I guess I do actually from my list, but I was having some anxiety because this is my family's first year having Thanksgiving together, like whereas we're trying to like really get a lot of the family in one place, and we had never tried this before. And I'm 35 now, so this is a big deal. But while I'm finding my notes, I just wanted to say, just even though I know we've discussed this before, but when you were just saying what you said, it just made me think about something my band instructor told me years ago, right before I ended up getting pregnant. And of course I got pregnant at 14. So this was like a story that actually I would still cry about even in my 20s, but he always told the story about the three girls and the one that was the virgin, and how when the other girls, I guess, were like trying to peer pressure her or whatever, and she was like, well, I can always become what you are, but you can never become what I am. And
Oh,
that always, like, to this day, because like when you said that about doing it alone, I'm like, I've done this alone since I was 14,
right.
with three kids. So I've never had that. And I think a big part of why I say that motherhood was traumatizing for me is because I've had to always do it alone. And I didn't think that it would be as traumatic as it was, but it really was. So y'all, I hope I did not. Okay, I've been scrolling right past the notes. Okay, so these are the tips that my therapist gave me for like dealing with family and trying to keep the peace. Number one, minimize the alcohol. Everybody know that you, of course, and a lot of people, that might be your go-to thing to go drink or whatever the case may be. But if it's going to be the alcohol, minimize it because, of course, as we drink, our tongues tend to get a lot looser. And so things can be said and taken out of context. Also, people get really emotional, don't spend all day and night, at that one location. If you know that this is already going to be kind of like a big deal for you, don't, like, if you go in the morning, then you be gone by evening or whatever. Or if you go in the evening, but just limit your time. And I think that's like a really good one, because oftentimes we can sit in a place too long and watch the vibe change. So that's really important. Emphasize the good. Like, as far as, and this is kind of just something I've really thought on a lot as well, because for me now, as I get older, and I just realize, I just want the best, for my family members and those people that I care about. So why go into those situations being negative or wanting to bring up, like, it's a matter of, I think it's called emotional intelligence. Like, it's a matter of being able to refrain yourself. It's a matter of discipline. Like, this is not the time to start talking to the person about, like you just said, why you don't have kids. For me, it's not about the kids as much as it is, why won't you get a job? You know, I still have to hear that from my family all the time. So actually, that was one thing that, I mean, it was a personal thing, but she told me like, hey, make it very clear to them that you work for yourself, you work around the clock. So you don't have to keep on explaining that to them. Once you've said it, just let it go. That also brought me to the next tip, which was to shut down negativity. Like, don't even engage in it. And when you hear someone else, whether it may not be directly in the conversation that you're in, but you know, just try to change the subject to make it lighter. Because the thing is, it seems like that we tend to forget about for the holidays. It's supposed to be about being around those people that you love, you know, and just embracing them and just being grateful for that time. And instead, it seems like a lot of people will hold all their resentment and bitterness to this one moment. And the reason why, another reason why I was kind of interested in this is because, like, for us, as we've been talking about all this with my grandmother, and just I was like, you know, do you really think we should have these deep conversations about what to do next throughout this dinner? And this is our first time coming together. So she was like, no. So those were the tips that she gave me. And I see Lauren Janelle says, blame it on the alcohol over here.
Hey, Lauren. Lauren's one of my girlfriends. Hey, girl.
Okay. And she said, don't discuss personal stuff. Look, she got tips herself. Okay.
Yeah.
Those kind of things. Like, also, don't start as, I don't know. Some people might feel like this is the best time to ask for the money, but I just kind of think, you know, if you could hold it off another day or something, that would be good, because you already know it's going to end up bringing about some other type of situation. Lauren also suggests creating the memories. Oh, I think she's probably saying that this is what this time is about. And that's very true. So,
Sharona.
so yeah, if you don't have any other tips, so y'all can leave them in the comments and let us know.
Yes. I mean, have a good time. I'm here. My father's in the hospital, so I plan on spending most of my day in the hospital. I know Sharona's will hit him with the Thanksgiving. But I have, like, one of my good girlfriends have somewhere, you know, my stepmom's having something here, my aunt is having something there, and my other aunt, I think she has something. So I think I'm gonna just be bouncing. I'm not gonna probably stay in one place at one time, but you asked what I'm grateful for. I'm grateful for life. I'm grateful to be able to do things that I love. Although, you know, I do a ton of other things. I actually love being a journalist. And thank you for the platform. I enjoy this. I'm grateful for the podcast. You know, we talked about things that have changed, you know, just that consistency with this, and, you know, thinking of different topics, thinking about how we're going to present them and different things. So I'm grateful for all of that. You fancy?
Well, look, I'm grateful for a lot of the same things, but, you know, and it's kind of something that we discussed this morning, but also, I'm really grateful that I am able to do what I love. And just, I was just kind of complaining earlier, but I was like, you know what? But at the same time, I've really set up my life, like, to basically be a lot of the things that I've been writing about in my gratitude journal for years, even before I even, you know, actually obtained them. So it's like really cool to look at that and see. I'm also grateful because this week my youngest daughter is here with us in Baton Rouge. So it's always just like, for me, whenever I have all my kids in one spot, like, that is a really big thing. It's such a peace that comes over me. It's like a feeling of wholeness, because oftentimes, and I just really feel like I lived a big part of my life, of that part of my life where I say I don't really remember things. It's kind of like a big part of why I wasn't present is because she wasn't around, and I didn't feel comfortable trying to really have a life without having your kids, you know, in it. It just didn't seem right. So that's like a big part of why I'm the one thing that I'm grateful for. But also these issues came in, and girl, I'm so glad to have, like, it is such a relief to be able to send out those tracking numbers and just, you know, just, it's, I don't know. And also this was a really good issue. I was really proud of, like, the layout and so on. I don't know. I have a glare here. I'm sorry, but I do want y'all to see some of it. So, like, this was actually our back cover story. Dr. Cosette. Why I can never find my camera. Sorry, Dr. Cosette, but also that other image I showed you all was of her. This is another one of my favorites, because can y'all see? Okay, that's Vicky, but I'm trying to show you all. I can't show it to you. Okay, this is like our first time trying like the animation type of infographic thing. So I was just thought that was like really cute. And those are actually some tips that Miss Bev sent. So we have like a lot of different things in here, a lot of different interviews, but also just want to take a minute. I don't know if you all know, like when we were finishing up this issue, Arnya, I was telling her like what I needed for the issue, and Arnya was like, "Oh well, actually I must have been complaining probably." And she was like, "Well, what do you need?" And so then she just came with all these articles, and I was and they were just like perfect. I mean, lengthwise, the categories that I told her, that we were missing. And I was like, I don't even know. I was like, okay, I'm gonna have this person email you, and I'm gonna get this, and I'm just like, okay, do what you do, because I got my own stuff to do. But Arnya as well, and I don't know if I've even shared this, but I mean, I've posted been saying this for us. We're grateful, but I'm grateful for you and Jermel, and you are like possibly one of the newest people that's in my life or in my closest circle. So when I say that, it is a really genuine type of gratefulness there, and also just the fact that we seem to fit together so well. Now we'll clash at times, but for the most part, I realize like a lot of my weaknesses are your strengths. And so I think that's why we seem to do well, and it's kind of vice versa. And I think that's a beautiful thing. You don't get that in a person as often, So yeah.
Beautiful chaos. I agree. And I'm thankful for you and Jermel also. I'm thankful for our conversations. I feel like you just get me sometimes because we share some of the same background. So that works. Get you somebody who gets you, honey, who understands you. I hear her up and be like, girl, let me tell you what happened. And you're like, no, what happened? And we always talk about mental because, we've discussed, I suffer with depression and anxiety. And, my PCOS had a mood swinging sometimes. And, we just real. And that's what I love about this podcast. But, that was one of the things, like, managing. You told me what you needed and I made it happen, So that's that. Also, if you're interested in becoming a journalist, hit me up, admin@swagher.net. We do. Glad that you brought up the whole fitness thing. We do have a group, Swagher Fitness Group. Is that the name of it?
I can't quite remember. It might be Swagger Get Fit Challenge, maybe.
Yeah, something like that. Anywho, we are revamping that. If you want to be a part of the group, it is on my page. So you can find out more about it. We're gonna do a pot, y'all. We're gonna do everybody put in a certain amount of money, and then whoever wins it all. We're gonna do something like that. Coming up soon. Probably at the beginning of the year. You know how most people do at the beginning of the year, start their fitness goals, but I think I want to do it every 3 months. So we can be consistent.
I just need to actually get in there and be active. I apologize because I haven't been in the group the way I should have been. But I have been working out, though. I have been doing it.
We're going to share fitness tips every Sunday. We're going to our fitness goals, what we're eating, what we're planning on eating, different things like that, and just kind of support. Sometimes it's easier to do things whenever you have other people doing it with you. So without technical difficulties, we still did good on time.
Yeah, because we actually started late. When you said that earlier, I was going to tell you that. But also, I do want to make certain that I get our event sponsor out for tonight. You good with that? Or did you have something else?
No. Are you going to do the sponsor? I just kind of threw one of the things that we have, Jessica Canty.
Okay. So okay, I guess I'm doing this fine. I'm sorry. Yeah, so Jessica Canty is a life and career strategist. She is the owner of Proverbs 1522 Personal Growth Coaching LLC. I don't know if you all have been catching her lives on Instagram, but she just did like Career Convo Week. And then we also have been resharing those lives and posting them on the website, as well as I even sent out a newsletter today about the one how to tech and recession proof your resume. I'm sorry, I didn't know that title as well. Okay, but that's because I'm not really trying to do a resume, and that's just because I just don't have plans to work with anybody. But Jessica has some really great tips, because that's what I was saying. Like, her tips have been so good that I'm actually like, it would make me want to go and apply for a job, because now she's like really breaking down the whole, the whole interview and hiring process. So I'm really proud to say, that this is content that is coming from, one of our team members, and it's running through our channels, because I really think that it is possibly some of the most empowering content that we've given out. And I thank Jessica for that. And her motto is, I help people move from unfulfilling jobs into dream careers. So you all can find her on Instagram at Jessica Canty, and that's Canty. And I don't think I put her in a crawler, but I didn't put her in a crawler, but we'll be starting to put her in the notes. Also, as far as also Jessica's gonna be going live tomorrow too with her Woman Crush Wednesday, and so she interviews different professional women. So you all can check that out. The flyer has been posted, if I'm not mistaken. And then for our event sponsor, we have the Hello Beautiful Women's Conference presented by Star Management Consulting. And that's going to be taking place December the 7th from 8 to 3 p.m. It's going to be located at the Atlanta Marriott Northwest at Galleria. So they also have rooms reserved for this event. You all can contact Lady Shannon, who is the event organizer. Like, her email is listed there in the crawler, but then also if you're interested in getting the tickets for the event just itself, then you all can get the tickets at the Eventbrite link that's also listed there in the crawler. And I'm happy to say that we were actually able to do the progress for her event. We're still working on them, but so yeah, we appreciate her, considering us for this, considering us offering this service. And it is something that we like to be doing more of. So you all can definitely, reach out, because we have a lot of tools, I think, that go along with those who are event planners or event organizers that I don't think they even totally realize just yet. Also, I just shared the issue of the magazine. So the Unapologetic Issues are now in, with Priscilla Shire as the cover story, with the interview done by Arnya herself. And we have the 2 travel books that we'll be getting out. One will be going out like within the next 2 weeks, and then the other one will be like shortly after that. But that first one is going to be going to I want to say Virginia. So if anybody has businesses in Virginia and you'd like to go ahead and get your business card placement in there, then definitely contact us. And then we also are on TuneIn, Google Play, SoundCloud, and YouTube if you like to catch any of the replays of the show. And, so, Anya, you got anything else?
No, don't forget to follow us on all platforms. We are Swagger Magazine and Media on Instagram and Swagger Magazine on Twitter. And here on Facebook, quote, swag her, end quote. We thank y'all for watching. Thank you for joining us. Happy Thanksgiving. Hey, it was about the pilgrims before, but now it's about families getting together and being thankful for one another. That's all I have.
All right. Good night, y'all. Peace and blessings. Happy holidays. Be safe, please. Also,